On the 27th of June, I was riding my horse to who knows where. You see, it all started when my house burned down in a fire. And then exploded. And then inspectors came and told me the land was now unusable due to toxic radiation. It wasn't a fun experience, but you don't get anywhere in this world if you let little things like that get you down. What? Is this a dream? Hello? Oh, a book. I better read it. Hello, everyone. I hope my transport process didn't affect you guys too badly. Now, I know you all must be wondering how you got here or who brought you here in the first place. And that would be me, Oidixel... Oidigz... feel like that needs more vowels. Every month, each of you will be given a task. Tasks may include build a farm, explore a village, go mining, etc. Just general tasks to build your world. When the blue moon rises, tasks will be finished. Ah, that can't be good. It took me a little while to calm down, but eventually I was able to get my wits about me, and I realized the only apparent way off this seemingly abandoned island was that big old portal. I spawned in this world, which looked a little like mine, but it was off. The atmosphere, the ground, everything. I finally found an actual chest, and don't I look good? My face shape works real well with hats. Despite the weird feeling I was getting from this place, I felt far more at ease here than at the castle. My instincts kicked in, and I punched down a tree, surveyed my surroundings, and picked a direction to go. It also was getting a bit cold, so I put on my poncho. It wasn't long before I stumbled upon my first man-made structure. Whatever it was clearly was abandoned and looked terrible. My next order of business was food. Food would be something I struggled with for a long time. Looking back, I probably should have set the animals on fire so I had cooked steak. That would be nice. But the sun was setting and my rational thought process was lost back in my home world. I didn't have any place to sleep. After a horrible night where I'd slept in a hole in the ground, I had run out of food. I had just finished killing this incredibly evasive cow when I got a pop-up ad. Do you want to see my detective agency? A detective? Maybe they could tell me how to get back. Ah, what the heck? Oh, hello. I was immediately impressed by the professionalism exhibited in this establishment. Clear instructions on how to contact them, a person's decapitated head on the table, a dog. Wait. Seems kinda unprofessional to have a dog just sitting there on the floor. Oh well. I tried to give him a snack, but it seems the strange world has a way to block people from touching things. Not everything, though, I guess. I decided to get right to the point. Where am I? A simple question, I had assumed. It was met with sarcasm, but pretty soon I was getting clues of my own. This detective mentioned something about a megabase I found interesting. However, I wouldn't see that till the next day. I asked where Bodi lived, and well... I tried to make it up to them by telling a lie, but it turns out that was unnecessary, as Bodi, or Bodi, as I call him, was working on a real house not too far away. He took me on his boat to a beautiful meadow with a much better house. I left one of my thoughtful housewarming gifts in a chest when I discovered there was an infestation problem. I would personally find this annoying, but I don't want to judge other people's living preferences. I wanted on record my housewarming gift was not a bomb. Despite the exploding houses, I was starting to like this place and decided to officially live here until I can return home. As the sun was setting once more, I asked if it would be all right. The next day I was introduced to another mechanic of this strange world, dropping heads. Bodi gave me his, and I must say, they are quite the collector's item. I couldn't live with Bodi forever, so I began gathering materials for my own life. I decided I wouldn't invade my neighbor's space too much, so I chose a hill on the other side of the pond to settle. I carved out where my home would be, but unfortunately, I had run out of food. Things were looking grim. A new person came to my house the next day. I was at first nervous, as one punch from them and I'd literally die. But this fellow, Josh, gave me a stack of potatoes instead. Quick to repay him for this life-saving act, I searched my inventory for the best gift I could find. Not a second later, Bodi was there and clearly knew Josh. They inspected my house and approved immediately. I even got another head out of it. I love these heads. I don't have any of Josh's, though. I wonder where they are. Me and Bodi were invited to tour Josh's house, and I must say, whoever the heck his neighbor is clearly evil. I mean, every evil villain I've ever seen got a place like that. Like, there's no way around it. But anyway, I had to move on from the fact that Josh was living next to an evil supervillain because we were going on a tour. His house also had the weird restrictions. I can't touch anything.
Get up here.
My complaint was ignored, but that didn't matter because Josh told me who lived in the evil tower.
Over there is NPC's tower thing.
2 other people lived over with Josh, NPC and Lactose. They had one more than me and Bodi, but that's okay. We'll recruit. I'd begun official construction on my house because my no-walls style wasn't really cutting it. This was when me and Bodi received an invitation from Blue to her base. The Mega Base. I explored it, and oh my gosh, I'm still eating the potatoes Josh gave me because I have nothing else to eat. How have they done all this? Again, Bodi seemed to know this person. Such a social butterfly. While the 2 of them talked, I wanted to ring the bell, but again, this place had the restrictions! I could edit the sign, though, and if I can't ring the bell, then I'm just gonna have to cause chaos.
Have you met Lactose yet?
I have not. This is my first time meeting Moldy too, by the way.
I'm wearing Lactose's head at the moment.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. Now, wait, is it that NPC? I met that NPC.
Yeah, Lactose is a British man.
Well, hello, Moldy. It's nice to meet you. Oh, /sit.
Thank you.
Ah, there you go.
This is very nice. I've been on my feet the whole time.
Oh my gosh, I am out of food again.
Oh my. Oh, don't worry. We've got plenty.
So
You can pick some.
got some bread.
You can pick some from the farm if you want.
Now, it might seem like Blue was talking to Bodi when offering full access to the farm, but I immediately took it as an open invitation. Starvation will do things to people. On the bright side, I now had almost all the seeds I could need to start a full farm. We went to bed to keep the monsters at bay, and it was around that time I found the portal. What are you doing here? Sheep, it's dangerous. What the heck? Come on, let's go back. The sheep did not follow me through the portal. I had half a mind just to leave, but my conscience got the better of me. I couldn't just leave a poor defenseless sheep in the nether. I wasn't sure how quite to handle this, especially with the particular sheep seeming to have no real interest in going back home in the first place. After a few more attempts, I decided me and sheep needed some space to really think about what we both wanted in life. What's down here? Wow. I found bones of a huge creature that I hope is long extinct. As somewhat of a self-proclaiming archaeologist, I took some. The whole time I heard the cries of a ghast somewhere nearby. I got out of there swiftly. Welp, sheep was nowhere to be seen, and I about had a heart attack thinking it had run down one of those passages. I decided to go back and see if Blue had a lead, and that's when I found sheep, safe and sound. I knew all we needed was a little space. Let's get you home. Sheep didn't seem all that willing to join his friends again. I had to persuade him.
Baldy stole the nether?
I guess.
Now, I've seen many players do this teleport trick thing you can do in this world, and as I felt my work was done, I decided to try it myself. Dang it. Well, that's okay. I think I can teleport to other players.
Hello?
I'm gonna slash back. Baldy, I'm assuming you were trying to teleport to me.
Aww.
Right.
Because I'm entirely useless, Bodi kindly rode me back home. On this day, it was decided mine and Bodi's humble town's title, Muddy Puddle. The Muddy is a combination of our names, and Puddle is in reference to the big old lake that connects us all. I like it. Now, I need to trade with villagers, so I went to the nearest town and asked for volunteers. volunteers to come back with me and live in very small confinements where they would never leave. I thought these two would be totally up for it, but I was wrong. I did eventually get 2 people, and on my trip back to pick up the second villager I noticed this. Another resident of Muddy Puddle, or just Puddle as the locals call it. Okay, so I love respecting private property, but you know what I love more? A good scarecrow. I believe I've mentioned before that I am incredibly poor and hungry. Well, this has kind of changed when I finally got around to making my farm. The only problem was I hadn't stolen any beetroot seeds from Blue's fort. I was planning to go back and possibly sneak a few home when this happened. Yeah, I'm good with not dying, but turns out Blue's kinda nice and offered to give me a stack of beetroot seeds without me having to steal any. This is absolutely perfect. As I am so poor in comparison to Blue, I have absolutely nothing she could possibly want in return, so she just gave them to me for free. What a pal! I was promptly teleported to her base. It turns out there is something I can give in return. My silence. On a short visit to Josh's house, I saw the tower again. Its shadow loomed over me like a big tower blocking the sun. That NPC wasn't on the server. When Josh pointed me in the direction of spawn, I will say I fully intended to head straight there. I got not even out of sight of Josh's house when I turned back. I needed to see for myself what evils lay hidden. Ahead! The same one Blue had on her base, as a warning I could only assume. I took it so I could have a warning too. Ward the evil spirits off and all that. That NPC also had that claim thing going on. I can't even feed his dog. Ah, that humanity! Anyway, as I always do, I left a housewarming gift. Even if this is an evil home, it's still a home. That whole time, that NPC's head was a heavy burden I carried. I didn't like the idea of being found out and struck down viciously. So when I found this tower of heads seemingly abandoned and claimed by no one, I figured this was a much better place to steal a head. Well, maybe a few. My wall is coming along nicely. There are many settlements out there now. And if Puddle is to keep up, we need to have a solid infrastructure. You are witnessing the lighting of Puddle's first ever nether portal. I think. Unless Bodi got one somewhere else. Let's see where this portal takes us. Okay, this kinda sucks. Now, as far as infrastructure goes, Bodi and I are under the same premonition that it is imperative to Puddle's success. So we begun our bridge project. Easy enough. Uneventful. Which I guess is good. Bodi began working on a floating entertainment center where we can do plays and whatnot. This is where a wandering villager spawned. Probably to Bodi's horror, I immediately killed him with an axe and stole his leads. I wanted to get a frog ever since I saw one in a swamp a while back, and well, I have one now. I personally love where we live. I'd been trying to get back home in the beginning, but that's kind of changed. I don't really want to ever leave. Why would I?